Welcome, Gemini. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new full moon in Scorpio reading. The full moon is on the 23rd of April. It is going to be particularly aspecting those with Gemini rising in the area of your life that controls not only the way that you work with others of service, but ways in which you maintain and sustain your own physical health and all-sided well-being. So this can have an impact on the routines and habits you cultivate to be productive, balanced, efficient. I am doing personal readings, and information for that is in the description box below. I appreciate all of you who have been participating in the free readings that I give on or about the first of each month with your comments and your generous donations. Thank you very much. It's deeply appreciated. But moreover, I appreciate your presence here now, and I feel the energy of support in whatever way you can share it. So, Gemini, let's get going with your overall energy for the full moon in Scorpio, the Six of Pentacles. This is about managing and balancing all of your exchanges of energy, all ways that you give and receive resources, love, time, money, in a way that prevents you or discourages you from overgiving, from overdoing, from feeling that you have to manage all of the exchanges, but rather that you can trust that what you are receiving as recompense, in balance, as part of an equal exchange matches the energy that you give out. And this is you really standing in your strength, standing in your talents and gifts, knowing that they have value, that they have worth. And it is reasonable to expect an agreement about those terms of exchange, so that this is something that has been explicitly agreed upon, not assumed, not done in the way it's been done before, but rather that you are in your way opening up to the kind of fair treatment and receipt of energy that you put out in a situation. In the 10th house, the house of your social identity, we have the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is relating to many options and opportunities that are available at this time. This is something that many of us throughout the world are experiencing with the changes that have occurred and the intensity of the astronomical energy. We're still under the influence of a solar eclipse that went directly through the middle of the northern hemisphere, the Americas. So this is advising you to not be overwhelmed with the possibilities that you now see available to you. You know that all options are not equal, but you don't want to be distracted from the path that you've already set for yourself. The goal that you've already determined is for you, that keeps you on purpose, fulfills your mission of service or contribution to the larger world. And this is part of the opening up of energies that put us in connection with people and energies all over the globe. In the first house, we have the Nine of Swords, and this is describing your perspective right now. In order to manage relationships reasonably openly and with a sense of self-regard and self-respect for your talents, it has been particularly necessary for you to accept the things that have not worked out for you, to release those failures, those disappointments, the suffering that you've experienced as a result of those, and recognize those are a part of meeting the expectations of others. In a way, it's on purpose that it was unsuccessful. Your path is not to do what others need you to do for them. Your path is to make a contribution according to what you expect, what you understand, and what you envision. And part of getting to a place where you're coming into that kind of regard for the talents and your vision of contribution is by releasing old beliefs, recognizing that others do not have the vision or the sense of respect for your natural talents that you do. You know best how to steer those. And this release of the desire to comply with what others expect is really providing a kind of healing, a washing away of an old idea of who you are and what your capacity is. In the fourth house is the house of your home, your soul, your roots. And the Three of Wands is about you putting together a new effort, a unique effort that reflects your interests, your talents, and your desire to make connections in unfamiliar places with new communities, new audiences, new clients. You are turning your skills towards the future in a way that is requiring you to wait for the receipt of your first tentative efforts, the connections you've made, the selections you've made of, or the research you've done in deciding what this enterprise, be it a business of your own, be it a new project, a new relationship, what it's going to look like. You're really still exploring and building that vision at the foundation for your success. And in the seventh house, the Three of Pentacles, this is beautiful. So your goal in connecting with others is to collaborate in order to build something beautiful, something of value. And in many ways, the value that you are joining with others, joining a team in order to affect is a reflection of your worth, your knowledge of your worth, your understanding about how you can clearly and explicitly enter into a project with clarity about the expertise and the contribution of each individual. This way you are working in a true collaboration in which what you build, what you create is united by a vision of excellence, of value. I hope this reading is resonating with you so far, Gemini. If so, please like this video, share this with others, comment below, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. And I pull the card Acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. And I actually understand this energy to be as well an acceptance of your talents, of your authentic gifts, and that you are best able to determine the usage of those gifts through the application and the acknowledgement that you have something of value to contribute. And this is also accepting the disappointments, the failures in the past because they were not aware. Others are not knowledgeable, aware of what it is you could give. Only you know that. From the flora and fauna of Africa, I pulled the okapi, which is a beautiful sort of deer, antelope, zebra looking hybrid. And the plant associated with this animal is the sacred lotus. And the key words are spiritual growth. Embrace all aspects of you. Your uniqueness is your power. Let your spirit guide you. I'm going to clarify the Nine of Swords in the first house with the Five of Pentacles in the second house and the Judgment in the third house. You are changing your relationship with money, with material resources, with energy and time, all related to not only your financial resources, your possessions, what you're able to save, but also with expressions of love. Expressions of your talent are an expression of love. They're an expression of who you are and what your skills are. So this is something that you are changing by changing the way in which you are working with others, your relationship with others in view of the talents that you now recognize and value and are taking ownership of. The Judgment in the third house is about understanding again. Gemini, this is your natural house, the house of communication, the house of how you learn, how you process information, as well as intimate communications, the way you use words, the way you use language. This is an area of power for you. And somewhere in this area, for those of you with the Sun in Gemini or significant placements, you were born to make a contribution at this specific time when Pluto is showing us new opportunities, having recently moved into Aquarius, for communication, for connecting with people regardless of distance, space, or time. And so this is a huge opportunity for you to apply your skills, your talents, your vision in a way that others may not be able to understand. This also represents an opportunity to do over something that you attempted in the past. It can be an opportunity, a job, a relationship that is taking you closer to an experience of final and complete success. This is a verification that a judgment you're making now is about doing something better, doing something correctly this time around. The Three of Wands in the fourth house is clarified by the Five of Cups in the fifth house and the King of Cups in the sixth house. The Egyptian deck doesn't always label its kings, and so I have to kind of figure it out. The Five of Cups here in your fifth house is also describing the changes you're making to your expression, to your creative expression. You have processed the failures, the disappointments, the losses. You have allowed yourself to grieve those losses, to acknowledge the suffering that has been a part of these losses, these heartaches. And in that way, this is a natural consideration as we attempt to give ourselves anew. There's always the possibility of loss. There's always the possibility of rejection. And that's healthy approach, forearmed. But however, this does not stop you because now you're grateful for these experiences. You recognize that they have shown you things about yourself that you couldn't have known otherwise. So in accepting the gifts of your failures, of your disappointments, you're actually in a better place, more deeply connected to who you are and the value of what you bring, in order to move off into this place of real emotional maturity. Here you are in control of your emotions in a way that is quite critical for you as a Gemini, sort of always balancing the head and the heart, so that your emotional state, you allow yourself to feel that. You don't deny that experience. However, you are able to sift and sort through the lessons of that, the healing you've gained, in order to not only honor yourself, but give of yourself in a way that is strategic, that is impactful, and that shares the healing you've gained. The Three of Pentacles in the 7th house is clarified by the Seven of Cups in the 8th house and the Eight of Swords in the 9th house. So again, Seven of Cups is describing an opportunity here. It's repeated in the 10th house where you are seeing a lot of opportunities, a lot of options, particularly as your heart has matured. There's so much cultural wisdom around having loved and lost is better than not having loved at all. And that is the feeling I get when I see this card here again repeated, that you will never stop trying. And only what's perhaps a little different is that now the maturity that you've gained allows you to consider where you failed, taking full responsibility for those disappointments that you have experienced, so that you move into these options understanding all offers are not the same, but that considering the offers that will help you get to the goal that you envision. And that by pieces that may occur, it may not occur in one grand swoop, but that you're now better apprised of the best partners, the best resources, the best working style, your learning style, all things that will help you better make the contribution that you understand you're capable of making, inspire you. The Eight of Swords in the 9th house is describing your vast experience. Having worked for and with many people, you've learned many ways of moving forward productively and not so productively. In fact, the voices of other people are what you're learning to control, because after all, for many of you, I sense that this is the nature of your work. Communicating, taking in information through people, listening to opinions, sorting them through. You're now learning how not to be overwhelmed by that experience in a way that may have pushed and pulled at you in the past. Now you're understanding that through that communication, you're able to perceive what's important, and ultimately, you're the expert. You know how to bring this together, how to make this productive, how to focus and direct this information in the appropriate way. So the sense of anxiety that comes over you, particularly now with the solar eclipse, and it impacting the area of the way that you work with others, there can be a sense of so much empowerment that you have, knowing how to make something a success, having tasted success through the experiences of others, through working with others, that you now know the best way to proceed. In the 10th house, the Seven of Cups is clarified by the Nine of Wands, and in the 11th house, and the Queen of Wands in the 12th house. Underneath all this is coming a tremendous sense of confidence. Despite the negotiation, the managing of relationships and information that you are working through at this time, that you're engaged in, you are full of confidence, full of a sense of joy and fullness and passion around what it is you do, who you are, what your gifts are. And this is essential when working with others, because this is something that now you hold as an anchor for all of your communications with others. They sense your confidence and they're relaxed. There's a kind of a lot of static going on here, so that I do see as associated with your sign and your style, being in the middle of communications, of the action, of ideas, of words, conversations, negotiations revolving around you a lot. However, this particular opportunity that you are experiencing, the judgment, is about not only answering the call, but getting a chance to successfully implement or make a successful effort towards your goals that help you to accomplish your mission. And you are, in many ways, now that you've elevated yourself among associations, tribes, groups that are concerned with the well-being of humankind, you understand how to make an effort that actually brings this home. You're very determined around what your place, what your contribution is. And you're now understanding that you have been through the wars. You have been the mentee. You have studied, you have gained the experiences in your particular field so that you now know what works and what doesn't work and how to apply that knowledge to your current opportunity. I'm going to finish up this reading, Gemini, with a crystal oracle and hope this has been helpful to you. And I've pulled, or I'm pulling, the black tourmaline, and there's another card underneath it. Also the labradite. So I have with the black tourmaline, protect your energy. And the labradite, see the magic. So I feel both of these things are going on for you. You're seeing your own magic. You are understanding your power and placing yourself in the middle of the action. One must constantly protect one's energy. Very important. Thank you so much, Gemini, for this reading. Until next time, namaste.